Hello fellow gardeners. If you've ever stood in your garden during the cold months staring at your seemingly lifeless soil and wondering how to keep it vibrant and thriving until spring, this one is for you. Over the past year on Soil Power, I've been flooded with questions about whether honey or molasses is the better winter soil booster, and honestly the answer might shock you. One of these sweet additives can completely destroy your soil life if used the wrong way, while the other can revive and rebuild it in just a few days. I want to take you through the science, the experiments, and the actionable steps you can take to ensure your soil comes alive next spring. Whether you're a beginner with raised beds or an experienced gardener managing clay-heavy plots, this guide is designed to be practical, clear, and applicable. Many gardeners assume that once the cold hits, soil just sleeps until spring, but in reality, soil microbes are still active in winter. They just slow down. These tiny organisms are the unsung heroes of your garden, decomposing organic matter, cycling nutrients, and creating a rich, airy structure that plant roots thrive in. Winter is also the perfect time to set the stage for a thriving spring garden. By feeding your soil correctly during the off-season, you give microbes the fuel they need to maintain activity without overextending themselves. This is where sugar sources like honey and molasses come in. But, and this is a big but, not all sugars are created equal. At first glance, honey and molasses seem similar. They're both thick, brown, and sweet, but the similarities end there. Honey is primarily made up of simple sugars and carries natural antibacterial compounds. This is fantastic for human health, which is why honey is often used for wound care. But in soil, these same properties can suppress beneficial microbes at a critical time. Molasses, on the other hand, contains complex sugars, trace minerals, and nutrients that act as slow-release fuel for microbes. It encourages balanced microbial growth without triggering an oxygen crash. Simply put, molasses is like a carefully portioned buffet for soil life. While honey can feel more like dumping an energy drink into a delicate ecosystem, it sparks activity, but too fast and too hot. To see the effects firsthand, I conducted a side-by-side experiment on sterilized, dead soil. I wanted to remove all variables, temperature, moisture, air exposure, so I could observe the true impact of each sugar. For the honey treatment, I dissolved 1 tablespoon of honey in 1 liter of water. For molasses, 1 teaspoon per liter. Both mixtures were poured into identical containers of soil, no compost, no fertilizers, just the sugars and the soil. Then I waited and observed. Within 12 hours, the honey-treated soil began heating rapidly, a sign that bacteria were multiplying too fast and burning through oxygen. By the 24-hour mark, a sour, fermenting smell developed. This is classic anaerobic activity, where bacteria thrive without oxygen and begin producing compounds that can harm plants. At 48 hours, the surface turned glossy and wet, and by 72 hours, the soil had slumped into a sticky, compact mass. Roots placed in this soil would have suffocated. Molasses-treated soil told a completely different story. The temperature increased gently, no spikes, and by the second day, delicate threads of fungal hyphae were visible beneath the surface. The soil smelled earthy, clean, and slightly sweet, the smell of healthy soil. By the third day, the structure was airy and sponge-like, rich with microbial life ready to support plants. The results couldn't have been clearer. Honey destroyed soil life, while molasses encouraged a healthy microbial revival. So, why does honey fail so spectacularly in winter soil? It comes down to the combination of simple sugars and natural antibacterial compounds. Simple sugars provide a rapid burst of energy, causing microbes to multiply extremely fast. This rapid growth burns through the available oxygen, flipping the soil into an anaerobic state. Anaerobic soil isn't just unproductive, it actively destroys beneficial fungal networks, invites root-rotting organisms, and leaves soil structure worse than before. This is exactly what we saw in the honey container, a glossy, compact mess that would suffocate any roots placed into it. Molasses, by contrast, contains complex sugars and minerals that feed both bacteria and fungi slowly. This allows for balanced microbial expansion without overwhelming the soil ecosystem. The result is living soil that is ready to support new plant growth in the spring, even after months of winter dormancy. Now that we know molasses is the winner, it's crucial to apply it correctly. timing, dilution, and method all matter if you want to see results. For general garden soil, a safe and effective ratio is 1 teaspoon of molasses per gallon of water. Heavier clay soils can tolerate a slightly richer mix because microbes work slower in dense soil, so 2 tablespoons per gallon once per month is sufficient. Sandy soils, which burn through carbon quickly, benefit from 1 teaspoon per gallon every 2 weeks. Raised beds, which drain quickly and dry out faster, require only half a tablespoon per gallon. Application is simple but should be done thoughtfully. Warm your water slightly to make dissolving molasses easier, stir until uniform, and pour slowly and evenly across the soil surface. Avoid dumping the mixture in one spot, as concentrated sugar pockets can still trigger localized anaerobic conditions. Once applied, lightly rake to help the solution penetrate a few inches down, then cover the soil with 1 to 2 inches of mulch to protect microbes from freezing temperatures. Applying the molasses mix 3 times during the off-season, at the start of winter, mid-winter, and early spring, ensures microbial populations remain active without overstimulation. Over-applying molasses is a common mistake, and while it's safer than honey, excessive amounts can still overwhelm soil biology and trigger oxygen crashes. For beginners, the takeaway is simple. Don't assume that natural automatically means good for soil. Honey might seem harmless, but it can destroy the very life your plants depend on. Molasses, when applied correctly, can transform winter soil into a living, thriving foundation. Experienced gardeners will recognize the subtle signs of anaerobic collapse in honey-treated soil: the sour smell, rapid heating, and glossy, compact texture. These warning signs are invaluable because they allow you to catch soil imbalances early and adjust your methods. Both beginners and seasoned growers benefit from understanding the timing and dilution of molasses. Even the best amendments can backfire if applied in excess or to waterlogged soil. Proper application is not just about adding sugar, it's about feeding microbes at a pace they can handle, maintaining balance, and protecting soil structure. While this guide focuses on winter soil prep, the principles extend year-round. Balanced microbial growth, proper carbon feeding, and careful observation of soil conditions are critical to maintaining long-term soil health. Molasses isn't a magic bullet. It's a tool to support the living ecosystem in your garden. Use it alongside compost, cover crops, and good soil management practices for the best results. The broader lesson is that soil is alive, and every action we take affects its ecosystem. Understanding the science behind amendments like honey and molasses allows us to make informed decisions, rather than relying on tradition, hearsay, or what my neighbor does. So, in the epic honey versus molasses microbe war, the verdict is clear. Honey crashes soil life fast, while molasses gently revives and rebuilds it. By choosing the right sugar source, using correct dilutions, and timing applications strategically, you can transform winter soil from a lifeless mess into a vibrant foundation ready for spring planting. Winter doesn't have to be a dormant period for your garden. It's an opportunity to prepare, nurture, and build living soil that will reward you for seasons to come. Remember, good soil management is about patience, observation, and respect for the tiny ecosystems beneath your feet. If you found this guide helpful and want more actionable soil wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to Soil Power. Share this article and our videos with fellow gardeners so we can help more people avoid the mistakes that destroy winter soil overnight. Let's make thriving gardens a reality, one spoonful of molasses at a time.